You're listening to Investigation Insiders by Integris Intelligence.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Investigation Insiders. Hope you are all doing well, staying healthy, and enjoying the beginning of the holiday season. Joining me today is my right hand woman, Jo Morrow. Welcome, Jo. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. It's been a while. I'm happy to be here today.
Yeah, I can't believe we've been doing this for a year, but you're right. It feels like we haven't recorded an episode in a while, huh?
Not together, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So this is actually going to be our last one for the calendar year. So thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Hope you've been enjoying the content. Before we jump into this episode, I wanted to make a very exciting announcement. As you all know from listening to the podcast, viewing our social media content, and just overall interaction with Integris, Joe's been a integral part of many things that we have been doing, including investigations. So we're very proud to announce that Joe has been promoted to Director of Investigations for the firm. Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know you were going to say that. Thank you. I am blessed to be a part of this company. I'm enjoying my time here, and it
Excellent.
feels good to be moving up the ranks.
Yep. No, it's exciting for us as well just to see your progression and best of luck obviously in your new role and everything like that. So and thank you for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
So now that we got that out of the way, and I didn't tell you on purpose, just because I wanted to, I didn't want you to overthink that. But today, so we're gonna discuss a topic that continues to be front and center for all of us: getting back to normal, whatever that means, I guess, right? As you may recall, um, Joe actually wrote an article titled Ready to Reopen Your Doors, Assessing Your Needs. Unbelievably, that was in like late April of 2020, when people were kind of starting to talk about potentially reopening. Now, almost 2 years later, we're still not really open. Isn't that crazy, Joe? I mean, the timing of that we were actually writing something about that and how long it's been since then.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad we jumped into that early on, thinking that business would go back to normal in a month or two after that, but boy, were we wrong.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So we're in a lot of people. It's crazy to think that something like this could take place. It's still a little bit surreal. So I guess in the absence of quote unquote normal, what have you missed the most about not being the way we were pre-pandemic?
I think mostly interacting with people and getting together with people. I mean, it's easing up now, in the last few months, but there was a quite a few months where you didn't really see anybody. You just took care of your everyday responsibilities and chores you needed to, but the gathering was just like, wow, what a loss it felt like.
No, for sure. I mean, so we're located a block from Times Square. So I usually walk through there and uh, back during my commute. So for me, I always got like a great rush of energy from the activity, from the people, from the music, from the lights, from everything that's going on there. Um, and so I miss that, doing that on a regular basis. I also, like you, love being around people and love being around people. And so, not being able to do that with our own staff, with our clients, prospects, and everyone else that we meet with regularly, I miss doing all those things sort of on a regular basis. So, those are the things we miss. So, what have you grown to like?
Oh, I like this new normal, as it's been called. I like part of it. I mean, mostly, I mean, I started the working from home in January of 2020 when I came on board with Integra. So I kind of wanted to stay at home, no commute thing. When that
Sure.
happened, knowing that I would probably go into the city, once or twice a week, so I would kind of have the best of both worlds, getting the energy of the city as well as being home with my family. It's kind of nice just being home, just make my coffee, start my day, listen to any music I want. I don't have to worry about getting dressed up professionally and looking the part. So it's been nice being home for that, and the mostly the interaction with my kids being in and out throughout the day, getting to connect with them throughout the day. It's been a blessing.
Yeah, that's definitely a neat part for me as well. One of the things for me is I usually went in every day, and every once in a while, if I was feeling well or just there was something going on which forced me to work from home, I didn't really have a good setup here. So I guess the pandemic forced me to really set up an office at home that mirrored everything that I had at the office. So now when I'm working from here, it feels like I'm in the office in a sense. So that's been really good. Not having to commute, um, if my day basically consists of being in front of my computer and on phone calls, is obviously a great thing. And like you said, just seeing my kids a little bit more, seeing my wife, seeing my family a little bit more has definitely been a great blessing. So
Yep,
I agree.
definitely.
Yep, yep. So I guess we're in a little bit of a weird place now, right? The pandemic is not really over, but it hasn't uh, left either. So as you know, I've been kind of in and out throughout the pandemic, at least going into the office once a week. And one of the definite positive signs that things are getting back to normal is that there's much more activity in Manhattan again. My kids are back in school full time. There are also people out and about shopping, eating, going about their daily lives. Um, but then every once in a while, I'm reminded that we're not out of it, right? So, like, for example, going to eat anywhere indoors, being asked for the vaccination card is a reminder. Um, Seeing people, a lot of people still in masks, most of the time is obvious reminder. So, what about you? What's your experience been?
It's been similar. I mean, if prior to me getting vaccinated, when the New York shut down, you couldn't even go into a restaurant. That was pretty much a rude awakening that how can this even be happening here? But that changed. I mean, things have slowly started getting back to normal with that. I mean, I just was thinking about, shopping,
Yeah,
even like going to the mall,
yeah,
the lines outside stores because it could only have so many people in a store at one time. And I'm like, oh my God. Now that the holiday season is coming upon us, I'm really like dreading having to take care of that stuff because it's probably just going to add more time to get all your stuff done. And then that slows down me getting into the holiday spirit.
yeah, for sure. It's interesting about like shopping and stuff. Like again, the lines outside just to get in were definitely like that's something I can't wait to get over soon enough. And then now, at least it seems like um, we don't have that. That's not going on, and people, the big thing is people also have to be responsible in terms of what they do. And I think it's one of the last things I'll say during this episode is like we do all have a responsibility ourselves. I think, and to get back to normal, it really is going to kind of require that we all sort of do the things we're being asked to do to the extent that we can and it's reasonable and feasible to kind of help everyone kind of get back to some new sort of normal. So I guess from speaking to clients, it appears that many people are not back yet. When I say back yet, I mean like working out of an office, certainly not at full capacity like we are, where we have a sort of a hybrid schedule for everyone. So I guess people are talking about a 2022 like return, a heavier return than it is now. So that date seems to keep getting pushed back, and I imagine it probably will be until there's a really good handle on this. But I thought it would make sense, Joe, to kind of revisit the blog that you wrote and talk about some of the points that are still very relevant as you figure out what's next. Frankly, I mean, it's something that people should be doing anyway in preparation for potentially a next pandemic. Who knows? And the purpose of that blog was assessing your needs before you take any action. So, Joe, you want to start with some of the points from that article, and I'll jump on the back end.
Sure. The first point was the chain of command. I mean, mostly it's about having a clear chain of command, who's going to be responsible for preventing the workplace exposure, and if there's any follow-up mitigation beyond that, how are the COVID developments monitored, who's reporting it, how is it being reported? Like, these are things that are important to document if anything ever comes up in the future about legalities or anything. It's good to have all these things documented and put in place.
Yep.
The second point is understand local, state, and federal mandates. I mean, that's self-explanatory. Reviewing the mandates on all levels, get a true understanding of what has to be addressed. What is a mandate? What is a request? Returning to who needs to return. So that is mostly done company by company, like analyzing the roles of your employees, who needs to be physically present. And I mean, that depends on the structure of your organization, your business, who may benefit more from working from home if people already have some health issues. So that's all an analysis has to be done by the company or the person who is who is managing the chain of command. Next point is the physical space, and that includes work schedules, limiting overcrowding and exposure. A lot of places have created like a workflow to limit like foot traffic going in one direction, coming out one direction, spacing out desks or workspaces, removing the number of chairs in meeting places, etc. And depending on the workplace, it may be better for the company and the employee to work from home either full time or on a rotating basis like we were doing. So there's not so many people in a limited space at one time.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think those are all really good points. And again, really part of like an overall policies and procedures that the organization should have in place, again, for what's currently going on and then potentially anything in the future. So it's really important that policies and procedures are documented, shared as needed, and people within the organization are educated. One of the things, just to hop on to everything that you said, and we'll put a link to the article in the description, but one of the things that we certainly learned was how important communication was during the pandemic, in terms of internal, external, with your employees, with your clients, with everyone that's involved in your business. We just can't stress that enough, because there was a lot of anxiety over many different things. What's going on with the business, what's going on with people's jobs. Do we have to come in? Do we not? So staying ahead of that and really just communicating on a proactive basis, we thought was very important. That was one of the things that was part of that blog. So I really think that very important point. So I guess following, this assessment, sort of like assessing your organization for any gaps, it really is important, because many organizations, they have 50, 60, 70% of it already in place, not because of preparedness for a pandemic, but just in general, it's things that they should have in place for any business. And so, like, by performing this assessment, obviously you're identifying any gaps that need to be adjusted and filled. So uh, I think, again, it was just such a really good article. And, one of the things, going back to the communication part, as you make changes to people's work schedules, to whether they have to come in, whether they don't, just continue to communicate with everyone and make sure that people have time to make adjustments in their lives and everything that's happened over the past couple of years, so that they come back with a good mindset and without things that aren't really completely taken care of on the home front, so that they can be the best employee they can be for you. So just and the point I mentioned earlier about, like, this is all of our responsibility just as much as we have to rely on the government and any sort of authorities. We also should do our best to, again, follow guidelines, listen to the rules, and follow accordingly. So, anything else, Joe, from that article that you wanted to bring up?
I think we went into details about the things like everybody knows about, hand sanitizer, the cleaning policies. I think most people, now that it's gone on for so long, are just, it's now second nature to clean up after themselves, clean up before you even touch things and after things. So I think in general, because of the time, that the things that were brought up in the article are now becoming commonplace for everybody. So I think it was a good point to make then, and I think it's been helping others progress as the year and a half has gone by.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny. That's one of the things, actually, thinking about, like, things that are good out of the pandemic is sort of like the hand sanitizing, cleanliness, all that sort of stuff, of spaces, of hands, of people, and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that's definitely been a positive outcome, because I can tell you, I mean, I was not unclean and undisciplined with my habits, but they've certainly gotten much better. So I think most people could say that. I know there are some people that claim that they always did it. I'm not sure if I
Yeah, they
believe.
have. And there's been a respect for personal space.
Yeah,
People are not overcrowding each other or
yeah,
getting to be a close talker.
e- e- except on the New York City subways. I think we're getting back. I think we're getting back to normal there. So,
Is it?
yep, yep. So, all right. Well, listen, we are going to put a link to that article in the description of the podcast. Again, we appreciate the continued support. Thank you all again for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll be back again in January. So, in the meantime, please, email us, contact us if there's anything you want us to address next year. If there's any questions, comments, anything like that, we're here for you. And Joe, congratulations again on the promotion, and really excited about the future.
Thank you very much. And I just want to wish happy holidays to everybody out there. Enjoy.
Awesome. Thanks.
Don't forget to follow us. We are on LinkedIn and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.